he struck this golden staff, relieving the flood and saving the people. Plotting the locations from the myth of Bochica's staff reveals a southwest to northeast alignment. Is this apparent geodetic alignment a lost artifact fusing creation mythology and geography? Or is it merely the result of chance, wrapped in fantastical thinking? While all indigenous myths fuse earthly affairs with divine providence, some are encoded territorial maps enshrining lost ceremonial centers within monumental ancient landscapes. The Muisca flourished on Colombia's high Andean plateau from 800 to 1537 CE. Their religious customs brought together agriculture, climate, astronomy, and mythology, reflected in their sacred geography. Before the arrival of the conquistadors in the 16th century, Muisca farming communities prospered around wooden temples, strategically positioned on long-distance alignments with sanctified lagoons, caves, hilltops, waterfalls, and monumental rocks known collectively across the Andes as huacas. In the 16th century, colonial plazas, churches, and shrines replaced these temples and huacas. Yet beneath the veneer of conversion lies a network of interconnected sacred sites, preserving the essence of Muisca spirituality and territorial mythology. In 2008, Colombian professor Juan David Morales hacked the ancient myth of Bochica's Road, first recorded in 1599 CE by Spanish chronicler Pedro Simon. This myth tells of a benevolent sun god, Bochica, characterized as an old white-haired bearded man with light eyes, garbed in a flowing tunic and bearing a golden staff. Hailing from the east and arriving at the temple of Pasca, Bochica journeyed northeast, imparting wisdom and civilizing the still nomadic Muiscas, before ascending to the heavens from a huaca in Isa. Morales' discovery of a precise 45-degree northeast axis connecting these 2 points, and other temples dedicated to Bochica, led him to conclude that the myth served as a coded blueprint for the Muisca's territorial organization. He suggested the temple builders were perhaps inspired by the natural 45-degree southwest to northeast axis of the Andes Mountains in Colombia. Thus, Bochica's Road emerges not only as a creation myth, but as a cryptic guide to the Muisca's spiritualized landscape. However, Morales overlooked another Muisca myth titled Bochica's Staff. In this story, after arriving in Pasca, teaching in Cota, and departing from Isa, Bochica's followers turned to the hedonistic ways of his wife, Chia, the goddess of the moon, the mistress of the night. As punishment, Chibchacum, the rain god, caused a flood that devastated the savanna. The Muisca ruler, the Zipa, prayed for Bochica's help from his temple dedicated to the sun god in Funza. Bochica arrived, consulted with local chiefs, and after meditating for one night, led a pilgrimage from Funza to a rock dam in the southwest. Standing on a rainbow, he struck this golden staff, creating the Salto del Tequendama, the Tequendama waterfall, relieving the flood and saving the people. As retribution, Chibchacum was forced to carry the earth on his shoulders, just like Atlas in Greek myths, and Bochica transformed Chia into a white owl, to eternally circle the moon. Plotting the locations from the myth of Bochica's staff reveals a southwest to northeast alignment comprising Tequendama, where Bochica struck his staff, the Zipa's temple of Bochica in Funza, the central plaza in Cota, where he taught, and the moon temple in Chia. This line not only begins at the largest natural waka in Muisca mythology, and ends at the chief temple of the moon in Chia, defining the Zipa's southern and northern territorial limits, but also symbolizes the sacred union of Bochica, the sun god, and Chia, the moon goddess. Furthermore, modern roads between Chia, Cota, Funza and Tequendama overlay sections of this ancient alignment, suggesting they were once Muisca pilgrimage routes connecting these ritual sites. Is this apparent geodetic alignment a lost artifact from the Zipa's territorial arrangement programs, fusing creation mythology and geography? Or is it merely the result of chance, wrapped in fantastical thinking? In April 2024, a team visited Colombia to explore the sites from the myth of Bochica's staff. We started at the Tequendama waterfall, about 20 miles south of Bogota, where legend says Bochica ended the flood and founded the Muisca civilization with his golden staff.
What are we doing here, Walter?
Praying so I don't run into anything.
I have a question. Do you think that waterfall represents Bochica's staff?
I think that's a really interesting interpretation. So you're saying the staff of Bochica is represented by the long white flowing feature.
Oh, look, got it. Right here's the fall right there. I don't know if you can see it. There's the fall looking straight down. Oh, that's going to be wonderful. That's going to look interesting on the map.
Fed by the Bogota River and plunging 433 feet, or 132 meters, the Tequendama Falls near Bogota mark the southern extent of the Bogota Savanna and the Zipa's territory.
So I hope you don't go in the water. So now it's going to start mapping. Then whenever it goes over, it'll go up.
According to the myth of Bochica's staff, the sun god struck his golden staff and melted a rock dam, as if it was made of flour, to drain the floodwaters and to found the Muisca civilization. Flying the drone over the waterfall, mapping it in 3D, we not only searched for the remains of a temple or surveying platform from which the suspected northeast alignment was drawn, but we also gathered accurate GPS data for this waka associated with Bochica.
Right there.
I'm spent, man.
What are you nervous about?
That the data didn't come in. But it was taking photos. I just hope they're being recorded.
Okay.
I fear I didn't come through for you. That's what I fear.
It's a solid fear because I'm kicking your ass if we don't have food.
Actually so.
I'll tell you now, bro.
We proceeded northeast following Bochica's staff on the map and passed through the heavily industrialized Funza, beneath which the Zipa's residence and temple of Bochica are buried. We arrived in the center of Cota, to the west of Bogota, at the base of El Mahoy, the Zipa's personal mountain temple where Bochica taught and civilized the Muisca.
Well done, Walter.
The central plaza in Cota, which overlays an important indigenous ritual site associated with Bochica's teachings, is dissected by the geodetic alignment, and the axis of the modern roads to Funza and Chia perfectly follow its course. We mapped the plaza and the alignment and secured accurate location data, noting that from the summit of El Mahoy, looking southwest, observers can see the entire alignment to Tequendama, and to the northeast lies the main Temple of the Moon in Chia, the City of the Moon.
First time was a little wobbly, but by now you got it.
We worked our way to the terminus of the semi-mythological line, the central plaza in Chia, the traditional home of the lunar goddess Chia, the wife of Bochica, revered as the spiritual mother of the ruling Zipa, based at Funza. Every street and wall in this city features arts and archaeology dedicated to the goddess, described by Pedro Simon as 3 times wise, great, and powerful, who governed witchcraft, sexual liberation, joy, games, pleasure, drunkenness, water, tides, femininity, fertility, arts, dance, and music. Unlike the incalculable gold offerings made in temples dedicated to Bochica, the sun, Chia's worship involved constant offerings of silver, known as tears of the moon. And her temple was plated with silver leaves and ornaments crafted so as to reflect moonlight and distort sound.
In 2021, while exploring Tequendama Hill in central Colombia, our team made a rare archaeological discovery. Walter Payne, a US metal detectorist, unearthed a 32-gram Chumbaga figurine of Chia, the pregnant moon goddess of the Chibcha. It's the only known personification of her ever found.
A joint high five, we found treasure.
Yep, we did. We got our parents.
Yeah, you find it.
She's beauty. She really is beauty. Beautiful, well-defined eyes. It looks as though there was something embedded in her belly that's not there now. So when that's cleaned, I'd be interested in seeing what's back there.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Utine?
Located in the vicinity of the old Temple of the Moon in Santander Main Park, this statue celebrates the triple moon goddess Chia, who holds the new Zipa in her arms, atop a triangle mounted on 3 circular steps with 3 paths leading to the statue.
The woman had in her hands, in her left hand, like a staff.
The bird with the snake in its beak is a universal archetype of mythology, symbolizing the conflict between virtue and adversity. However, unique to this statue are the three figures holding seeds, crops, and a staff. While a fictional interpretation might link this staff to the story's main theme, it actually represents the tool Muisca farmers used to plant seeds under moonlight.
Here, I want you to wipe it off right now with that rag. Actually, right now. Go. Well, it's still wet.
That's box clean.
I think that's above the tower right there. Well, I'm taking images to make maps. Right here, we're mapping the area. Got the flight path right here in a grid to try and maybe get that figure of Chia in the central plaza.
We mapped the plaza in Chia, known locally as the portal off the moon, and obtained the required GPS data. Just like the plaza in Cota, so too was the plaza in Chia oriented with the geodetic alignment under investigation.
There it is.
We then drove to the top of the adjacent western hill and filmed the entirety of the alignment from the Moon Temple in Chia through Cota and Funza to the Tequendama Falls. We conclude that the myth of Bochica's staff and the associated alignment were crucial to Muisca religion. Walter's mapping confirmed that 4 sites we visited were accurately aligned with plazas and roads over indigenous temples and pilgrimage routes oriented accordingly. The alignment symbolically unites Bochica and Chia, the sun and the moon, with Tequendama and the Temple of the Moon at each end of the line, and the Zipa's residence and temple dedicated to Bochica also centered on this geodetic alignment. It's likely that successive Zipas and their surveyors used this line as a territorial map, a pilgrimage route, and a geoglyph visible from the Zipa's temple on Bochica's Pass at the summit of El Mahoy in Cota.